Howdy people, it's Chris Angel coming at you for another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. I thought I'd take you outside today because it's beautiful. Get outside of the home office and just walk around because it feels good. So I was, if you saw my post this morning, I talked about, what did I talk about? Well, go look at my post and you'll see what I talked about. But it is related to this post where we're talking about your life is a collection or a culmination of moments. And this matters to me because I feel like a lot of people are waiting for the answer before they pull the trigger and pursue the thing they want to pursue, whether it's taking on your marketing to the next level, or maybe the next thing you want to do is a career change, or maybe you're trying to start a business, or maybe you have a business but you're trying to get to the next level. And in all of that, you're looking for an answer. You're looking for certainty. Right? You're looking for someone to give you certainty through an answer that would help you take the next step. But the reality is that life is a culmination of moments. And you don't get the answer until you take the step. Like, that's how it works. So as you think about what it is you're up to, you just have to take the next step. And it's in the taking of the next step that you begin to realize what works for you and what doesn't work for you. But you can't figure it out. You can't solve it. You can't solve it from a place of reading a book or having somebody else give you the answer, because that's their answer. That's what, look, almost all books are created from a place of somebody living their life, having an experience, and then sharing what worked for them back with you in hopes that what worked for them serves you in some way. But it's never going to serve you the way you hope it serves you, because you have your life to live and they've lived their life. It's not the same. Your life is not their life, and their answer isn't necessarily going to be your answer. It might inform some decisions you make, but it's not going to be the whole story. And so life is simply a culmination of moments. And in those culminations of moments, you begin to build your certainty. You get clearer about what to do and what not to do. You find what works for you and what doesn't work for you. But you only experience that in taking the next step. This is the thing, like, so many people have important work in the world. So many of you have important messages for the world, but you're afraid to take the next step because you want to do it the right way, or you want to do it in a way that works, or you want to do it in a way that you won't get hurt, or you want to do it in a way that won't financially bankrupt you. And you just won't know any of that until you take the next step. Now, how do we get to the next step? Well, I think you've got to get to a place where you're beginning to listen to the voice. We'll just call it the voice, right? You could call it God, you could call it the universe, you could call it your intuition, your higher self. There's so many ways you can speak about this voice, but you've got to get to a place where you can begin to think about or feel into what is the voice telling you to do? Like, where is it guiding you to, right? Is it guiding you to meet with a specific person? Is it guiding you to sponsor a particular event? Is it guiding you to go do more marketing and get on Facebook more? You have to start to feel from your own intuition what the next right step is. That's the skill that I feel we are sorely out of touch with. I feel like many of us have lost touch with our intuition and what really guides us. And so we don't trust it because we're not used to that voice. But the more that so it's like the first time you hear the voice, it may not be audible, right? It's going to be a thought. Here's how it works for me. Like, I get a thought, and then I don't pay attention to it, and then I get the same thought again, and then I get it again, and I get the thought again, and it just keeps coming, right? And when I see the pattern, it's so great, guys, so great, because the universe is not trying to play tricks on you. It's actually trying to partner with you. And it partners with you in a way where it keeps bringing the same message over and over and over again. And you keep thinking it's coincidence or some crazy idea you've had, when in actuality, it's actually the universe or your higher self trying to get your attention to say, like, hey, this is the thing. I shared a video a while back where it was about, for a couple years now, I've had this prompting, this message, the same thing over and over. It's like, hey, you should back off of alcohol and coffee for a while. And I'm like, that seems like a good idea, but I'm not going to do that. Or I'm not ready for that. Or I'll try it for a week and then I stop. Like, there's just like, and it just kept on me. It kept on me. That's how your voice works. That's how the voice works. It just keeps leading you to the next step because it's trying to help you to where you're trying to go. I watched The Secret years ago when it came out, and in there is somebody, her name is Esther Hicks. She goes by Abraham Hicks now because she gets to channel some type of collective energy in the spiritual world called Abraham. So Abraham Hicks, and one of the things that I love that they say is all cooperative components are aligning themselves to help you. All cooperative components in the universe, in this great big universe, are aligning to help you. They're already in motion to help you have what it is that you're wanting to have. And you are often the only uncooperative component. In other words, we become our own bottleneck to the things we're trying to create. The things we're trying to create are already in motion. And I think when we start to feel into or remember what it feels like to hear the voice and take the next step, we start to stop fighting and we start partnering with the universe and what it is that we want to create. And I think this is so important to me because my heart is for those who have important work in the world. When you have something important that makes a difference and a transformation in the lives of others, that's important work. So for you to take the next step isn't going to come from you reading a book or going to a conference and having somebody tell you the next step. That might inspire the next step for you, but then guess what? You have to take the step. You have to take the step because your life is a culmination of moments. Some of you think others know better than you. This is why you wait. This is why you hesitate, because you think somebody knows more than you, or you think somebody is better than you. Until you get down the road of life enough and you lift your head up and you look around and you're like, how is this our political system? Or how is this person leading this company? Or right when we start to realize those we entrusted as leaders actually are just trying to figure it out like we're trying to figure it out. They're just trying to figure it out like we're trying to figure it out. They might have brought more certainty to it, but it doesn't mean that they necessarily had more answers or that their answers were even right. And in that moment, you get to see I have something to say too. And I'm tired of waiting for somebody to give me permission or approval to say it or to do it. I'm just going to go do it now. I'm going to go act on it now. Because your life is a culmination of moments. That's how it happens. So stop waiting for somebody to give you permission to do your important work and just go take the next step. You won't know what the right next step is. You're going to have a prompting, a feeling, right? I mean, you won't know if the next step is quote unquote, the right step. You're just going to follow your intuition and go to the next place. Take the next step. That's it. That is the game, gang. That is the game of transformation. That is the game of living your life to its fullest. It is a culmination of moments, and you have to step into the next moment. Otherwise, you stay small in your current moment, and you could live in your current moment the next 20, 30, 50 years, and then look back on your life and be like, wow, what could have been? I had so many ideas I wanted to do in this life, and I didn't do any of them. Why? Because you were waiting for somebody to give you permission or waiting for the right answer to fall from heaven. And that's not how this works. It's a culmination of moments. And in the stepping out into the next moment is where you start to find your truth. And in that truth, you find your certainty. And in that certainty is where you lead others to freedom. That's how this works. So, obviously, this show, right, Marketing for the Rest of Us, is about marketing. And you can take this very same conversation into this distinction of the conversation of marketing, because that's what this is. You now get to just take the next right step in marketing, and most of the time in marketing, it's simply saying to the world what you're learning. There is no right answer. You just keep sharing the next thing to share in your marketing. That's what it is. You're like, well, what should I share about my marketing? What's the right thing to say about my product or my business? Or we don't want to know about that. We actually don't want to know about that. We want to know about what life is teaching you, because that's how we know whether we can trust you or not. We don't know if we can trust you until we know where you come from. So you speaking to us, your perspective and worldview about what life has taught you, gives us a barometer or a place to orient ourselves to who you are and how you see the world, and whether we want to listen to you about your product or service or not. So marketing is the same thing. It's just a culmination of what's next to say. There's no right thing to say. You just say the next thing you feel to say. Sometimes it lands, sometimes it doesn't. But it doesn't matter, because your life inside of business and marketing is also just a culmination of moments and messages. That's how this works. Okay, gang, so there you have it. That is marketing for the rest of us today. Have a great day, and I'll catch you tomorrow for another episode.